All right, let's talk Grizzlies. Right now, not a lot of great things to highlight. Grizz 4-8 on the season as we speak. But, Ruben?
It's okay. It's not just the record, though, that's tough. It's the style of play right now that's kind of tough to watch. And let's get into it. Let me toss some numbers.
Okay.
And then let's dissect some numbers.
So you're the numbers guy.
Ja Morant is ranked 44th in the league at 18 points a game. Giannis leads the league at 33 points a game. That's a massive disparity for a superstar. The Grizzlies have no player ranked in the top 85 in the league in three-point percentage.
Jeez.
Let me say that again. There are 85 players listed on the NBA's rankings in three-point percentage. There's not a Grizzly listed in there.
Missing Luke Kennard right now.
Ja does rank 8th in the league with 8 assists a game. He ranks 4th in the league for most turnovers a game at 4 a game. There's a lot of problems here. And if you're a Ja fan, if you're a Grizzlies fan, one way or the other, you have to admit there's something not clicking.
How's he shooting from three? Go ahead and tell the people.
16% from the three-point land is what your superstar is shooting right now.
He's putting up tour dates. Putting up tour dates. 315, March 420.
That might be the funniest thing you've ever said on this show, brother.
118.
When do you want to catch him?
You're lucky we in November.
Yeah. So
we get to January, you still shooting like that. I mean, the day of the week, that's Josh shooting.
What are your thoughts?
Okay, the Grizzlies traded away not one, but 3 of their top 3-point shooters last year.
Kennard.
Jay Huff, 3. Luke Kennard, 2. Desmond Bain, 1.
Yeah.
If you trade away 3, what did you bring in? Nothing.
3 and D guys, but guys who can't shoot the 3 like that. I guess
they can't D either.
They thought
They ain't on the list. They ain't on the list.
Because Memphis is one of the worst defensive teams in the league. So not only they not 3-ing, they not D-ing.
Yeah.
So you got rid of the 3 of your best shooters. You know, Jay Huff, everybody didn't, could consistently hit that three-pointer. Luke Kennard, everybody knew what Luke could do. Yeah. He didn't do it at the end of the year, but he did it consistently. At one point, he was the leading three-point shooter percentage-wise in the league. And Desmond Bain, always consistent for getting you a bucket when you need it most. Yep. And a lot of people say, his defense, his plus-minus was negative, but he scored points. Mm-hmm. And he kept you in the game. So he might gave up 2, but he got 2. So it balanced out in my book. So that's what happened. And the guys they got now, they still waiting for Cam Wells to come and do well. Jalen has not, Cam Spencer and Jalen Wells has not been what they wanted to.
Jalen misses a lot of time.
And then
I think it's the wrist. I'm giving him grace because of the wrist injury.
Yeah.
I think hopefully he gets it back, but you can clearly tell that wrist injury is still bothering him.
And he's one of the massive three-point shooters. And even Jaren hadn't even been hitting consistently from three-point range. Because Jaren usually have a good three-point shot.
He shoots about 40%, but he hits less than 2 a game. He hits 1.6 or 1.7 a game.
And is it some takes on Jaren Jackson?
Man, people don't like Jaren in this city. You know why.
Let's get into it. So
let's stay out of the tea first.
We know the noise about and we're going to get to that. I promise we're going to get to that. But Jaren, like we said, he got that big contract. He was an all-star, and he just has not had it. And he's just avoiding all the smoke. Why? I like Jaren Jackson. He changed his number and everything, wanted to be all different. But he's not living up to the contract, and it just seems like nobody talks about him. So, what do you do if you're the Grizzlies? Why are we all talking about, Ja might go, Ja might get traded? Why are we not having these conversations with Jaren Jackson?
Because I don't think Jaren liked this offense either, but Jaren's not saying that because this offense is really not catered to Jaren doing what the things that Jaren does. And it's just, he has to pretty much take the three-pointers, what he do, because he's not taking it to the hoop like he used to. Ja's not taking it to the hoop like he used to. I ask him all the time about points in the paint.
Yes.
Jaren used to also do a lot of points in the paint. Jaren hadn't been attacking the basket now, and Ja hadn't been attacking the basket now. We don't want Ja to attack the basket. We don't want him to get hurt.
Yeah, that's what he said.
But Jaren has to attack the basket. If Ja's not doing it, somebody needs to attack the basket because they have to get points in the paint. Everybody look at the three-point line, but the easy shot is the layup. If you get a layup, it's
and unfortunately in the NBA, there are almost more threes shot per game
Yes.
than layups
To your
shot in the
chagrin.
game, which is why I don't enjoy watching the NBA nearly as much as I enjoy watching college basketball. But to some of the points that you're making, still some injury issues.
That goes with the territory.
So you're not giving them grace for that?
No
Oh,
grace.
I think this team will be better when Edie gets back.
But what is Edie gonna help you rebound a little bit better, and he gonna screen.
And
but
defense.
in theory.
Now, Edie does work hard. I think
He
he's
does
a hard
work
worker.
hard. He's
And Scottie
worked.
Pippen Jr., come on now.
Man, Scotty is not coming back for another month, so push that down
What
the road.
what about Ty Jerome?
Man, according to the Memphis Grizzlies, he might be back next week. You know, we got some good news today that Edie might be back on this road trip, which we knew, but they never would say. So he might be back, not this game, but probably the Cleveland game on Saturday.
But it's going to take him a month to get in shape. and
At
ready to
least a
go,
week to get
you know?
a week to 2 weeks
It
to get
takes
in shape.
a while to get right.
Right.
And then you're right. The shooter.
Ty Jerome. Well, he's more of a mid-range shooter, and that's going to be another 2 to 3 weeks for him. So you're looking at this roster not being in sync until Christmas, and that's not counting Brandon Clark and Scottie Pippen.
Brandon Clark made a glass. He's not playing for the Grizzlies.
He's not coming back to All-Star game.
He's not coming back, period, because they're going to get rid of him.
How far in the hole, then, are the Grizzlies by the time they get healthy is the real question.
Right
Yes.
now, they currently in the 10th spot.
Now they're in the 11th now.
Okay, 11, 10. They hover around that time. I think if they can hover around that way, 10, 8, around that area into Christmas, I think they'll be all right. Okay. At least they'll make the play-in. I still don't think they make the playoff, but at least this a play-in team, if anything.
So with all that being said, what do you feel about Isolo as we're about to get 15 games in?
I'm not a big fan of Isolo. Never have been a big fan of Isolo because we saw this offense last year, and it didn't work last year. You know, because he had some components to this offense last year. I don't think this offense or this roster as presently constructed is the best version of the Memphis Grizzlies it can be because this team can't shoot, it can't defend.
Well, I mean, I'm sorry, but in basketball, you got to be able to do at least one of those.
Yeah.
At least one of them.
At least one.
Yeah, and they can't do either. They're one of the worst defensive teams in the league, and they one of the worst three-point shooting teams in the league. So how you fix it?
But let me ask you this, and Rich, I want your take on this too. We all know that defense and rebounding is what we call E&E, effort and energy.
Right.
So do you guys both think that their displeasure with the staff is impacting their effort and energy on defense and rebounding?
Absolutely, because Ja didn't want Taylor Jenkins to leave. Only reason Taylor Jenkins got fired is because the team was underperforming while Ja was hurt. So, and Jaren had those numbers. He was an all-star. And then next thing you know, they go on this losing streak, and Taylor's gone. And now it's like Isolo's thrown in there. They're blowing leads to the Thunder, which they blew the one this year. But still, that was a monumental choke job in the playoffs. I think, Gigi Jackson's not playing, and Gigi Jackson was finding his way with Taylor Jenkins. So it's just something not right with this group. But management is stood by Isolo because they took the interim tag off of him. So if management has told the team, hey, we don't care what y'all feel, this is our guy, so y'all better get right.
Well, okay, I hate to go in retrospect, but this team started their demise last year when they didn't pick up the option for Jake LaRavia.
Okay.
Then they traded away Marcus Smart and a first-round pick.
That was
and
the catch.
a first-round pick.
That was the catch.
For 25
Traded the
minutes
pick.
to Washington. And then they didn't want Taylor Jenkins to do well in the playoffs, so they fired him because they didn't want him to do well, so they didn't want to bring him back last year, so they really didn't want him back this year. So they pretty much sabotaged him and said once they fired him, because when they fired him, he was like top 4 in the standings.
Yeah.
And then they kept going backwards and backwards and backwards. So if they hadn't fired Taylor Jenkins, they probably would have made a run in the playoff, and they didn't want to bring him back.
I don't think they would have even got to the play-in. They would have been a normal team.
Exactly.
So you're saying, to your point, that because they didn't want him, they couldn't afford for him to have success in the playoffs.
Exactly.
So he had to get rid of him before he had any success.
Exactly.
And now, from your standing, just when you see, the team is not responding to management's choice, and that's why their performance is.
And
It's a management thing.
And they continue to make big mistakes. When they traded Desmond Bane over the offseason, that was a trigger that this team was not going to be any good this year. Because it's almost like, oh, we're going to try to do this, but Why you trade him? Because
and
then get anything. You say you got some draft picks because all the time they said we believe in our core three: Jaren, Ja, and Desmond. They've always said that.
But
and when you break that without any warning or forethought, even though Desmond knew it was coming, but you shouldn't do it because that's your core three. Because one thing with Desmond, he might not be a great defensive player, but he wins you games.
Yeah.
Well, I will say, on record, I do agree with the Bane trade for several things. Now, I know everybody's favorite word in sports is potential. So they traded Bane for the pick that at least one of the picks have turned out to be Cedric Coward, which is you've seen it, Terry.
Yeah,
he's going to be really good. And the Magic are not good right now. A lot of that is because Desmond Bane has not been good. Now, he did hit the game winner recently over the Blazers.
It ain't how you start, it's how you finish.
You know what I'm saying? So, but the Magic have been underwhelming this year.
Right.
And, you run some mock drafts. The Magic might end up getting the number one pick, which will go to the Grizzlies.
Right.
So if you now look at the Grizzlies and I'm getting A.J. DeBonsa or Darren Peterson or Caden Boozer, now you're like, okay, I'll do the Desmond Bane trade 1,000,000 times out of 1,000,000. So that's why I rock with the Bane trade. But it's always about the now.
So to your point about Cedric Coward, he may be one of the few players right now having success in this offensive system.
My rookie of the year.
So unless you're going to build the entire system around your rookie, because your stars, Ja's averaging 18 points a game. And he's a star.
That's what it boils down to.
He's a star. If your star is averaging 18 points a game, then there's something not right in the system. Either he's not fitting it well, you've put something that doesn't work for him, or he just doesn't have the energy to play the way you want him. But whatever it is, I think that's got to be fixed, and it's got to be addressed at some point.
Only way to address it is to bring in a shooter. You bring in a shooter, you increase the spacing. If you can get some shooters out there, you open up the lane. Jaren and Ja can get in the lane, and then his percentage will go up because he have more layups. But until they get a shooter on this team that's consistent, this team would not have success. And Ja would not have success because he need that screener and he need that spacing. Without that spacing, they pack in the paint. Ja's not gonna get in there. If you just look at the game, and it's almost three guys in the lane all the time protecting the rim. And Ja thrives at the rim. They know if you cut off that right there, you cut off the success of Memphis.
Yeah, I saw several fadeaways and stuff in the game against the Knicks. Do you have any eligibility left? You need your knee's still good? You want to go try out for the Grizz? See if you can hit a couple?
No, I'm good. They need to play my guy Gigi Jackson. So what do you make of that? Before we get into Ja, because I know that's the main event thing we got to talk about. What do you think of this Gigi Jackson stuff? Because he was an all-rookie guy, and now he's not playing. What is going on with him? I really, really like Gigi Jackson.
I love Gigi Jackson too.
What is going on?
When you put up good numbers on a bad team, that means people don't care about you. When you try to put up good numbers on good teams, then they playing for you. And I think, he might be a product of putting up good numbers on a bad team because no one cared about you.
His chain got taken by Coward and Wells.
Yeah.
But so to your point, and I don't think people dissect this stuff enough. You're going to put your best defender on Ja. Your next best defender is on Jaren.
Yes.
Right? Most teams, probably look at the Grizzlies. How many good defenders are on the Grizzlies team?
It's supposed to be at least Coward and Wells.
So two. So maybe 3 on an average team.
Jaren, because
so by the time you get down to Gigi Jackson on the scouting report, who's guarding that dude?
Exactly.
And that's the point you're making, is that he was the product of. He was the afterthought when you got to guard these other dudes.
Exactly.
But no, see, he was hooping when all of those guys were out.
Right, but they were on a bad team and no one cared about him. So you could score points because you was down 20 points, so they don't care about you. So you just go. They really didn't game plan against you. But when you come in now, you got a game plan against Coward, and you got to adjust to the defense of Jalen Wells, because Jalen Wells' numbers don't show up, but his defense always shows up. So people have to they set screens for him. You look at him now as the point guard's coming down, you see them setting screens to try to free him from Jalen. Exactly, because he's a good defender.
Has Memphis gotten away from the grit and grind?
Yeah, we're a little flash and dash right now. Because they want to go fast and fast and fast. And when you're going fast and fast and fast, it does two things. It increases opportunities. It also increases the chances for turnover. So that's why when you see a team with a lot of turnovers, because if you got 100 possessions and you got a high number of possessions, the chances of you having turnovers are high. And this team has a lot of turnovers. on a regular basis.
So let's get to it about Ja. What do you feel personally, Terry, about this whole Ja situation? He done came in the media, said he done lost his joy, putting up terrible numbers, tour dates. Like, it seems like everybody, I guess we got to get into the conversation about, do you trade him? Absolutely not. He's never leaving this place unless he requests a trade.
From what I saw the last time Ja was in the locker room, he wasn't smiling, but he wasn't frowning. He answered the question, and he was actually long-winded with his answers. Because when he don't want to talk to you, he gonna give you short answers, and he gonna get out of your face. And
That's your home run question.
was that your bait question?
Yeah.
And he knows. Ja is smart. He knows what he's doing. If Ja didn't want to be here, Ja will not be here. I think I can't speak for Ja because I don't know Ja like that. But if Ja didn't want to be here, he would say, "Get me out of here."
Get me out of here.
Exactly.
And I think he really does want to be here, and I think he does
is
want to work
Memphis.
because he loves Memphis, and Memphis loves him. Because not only does Ja is a face of the league, of the Tigers, of the Grizzlies, he also sell tickets. When Ja's in the stadium, the ticket sales are higher. When people know that Ja's not in the stadium, ticket sales plummet.
But so here's the $1 million question. You ride through this season, if you're unhappy with the staff and your Ja, you're probably making that known. Hey, for me to stay, I need some changes to be made, right? But then the staff comes back next year, then what happens?
Well, Ja might end up being the coach killer.
That's what he's going to be LeBron at some point.
Yeah.
But my thing
It happens to everybody, every star.
At the end of the day, it's only 11 games into the season. If the season was to mellow out and go up and they make a playoff and make a deep run in the playoff, maybe Ja was happy. Because at the end of the year last year, Ja was kind of happy at the end of the year. So if we can get all those guys back on the same page and make a tweak or two with the roster construction, and maybe that'll make Ja happy. And it's all about wins. Because right now, Memphis is, 4-8?
4-8. Yeah.
4-8. 4-8 is not good.
On the road.
Not good. So they have got to get back to 500 and then try to make a run to make the playoffs. If they make the playoffs and make a decent run in the playoff, I think everybody will be happy.
Yeah.
I think the thing that stinks so much about the Grizzlies is 8 of their first 11 games were here.
Yes.
In front of the people.
Yes.
And Ja is playing.
Yes.
And they're losing. And so now they're on this road trip where it's going to be a gauntlet. They're going to be in a dogfight every night. It don't get any easier for the Grizzlies. So they have got to get it together. When it comes to Ja, he reminds me so much of Derrick Rose. And that's why I think it was great when Derrick Rose was here. Because if you look at Ja's game when he first came into the league, it was that slashing guard, always doing everything at the paint. Then now after the injuries, thank God it wasn't as bad as D. Rose's injuries. Yeah. Now he's shooting more threes, to Ruben's chagrin, 16%. Now he's taking mid-ranges. Like you said, we don't want him attacking the paint like that because he will get hurt. And it's just, I feel bad for the guy because it's so much, and he dealt with all the off-court stuff, and it's now like, this was a guy who had everything in front of him. He was going to be the face of the league, whether he wanted it or not. And now it's like he's an afterthought when you talk about the great point guards in the league.
He's an afterthought because of the Grizzlies' record.
Yes.
If the Grizzlies' record was 8-4,
top player,
he will top up. It's all about winning solves everything. Once you turn your record around and you have success, especially in the playoffs, that's when you get your success. If Ja can win around, go to the second round, all that will rise back up. Because right now, no one likes to associate a face to a losing team.
Yeah.
You may have a superstar on there because if you go to any pregame, you go to any road game, you're going to see Ja jerseys on the road.
Yep.
You go to Cleveland, you're going to see Ja jerseys on the road. That ain't normal. And the NBA knows that, so that's why they try to prop him up. And that's why he has one of the highest sneaker sales with Nike.
Yeah.
Numbers don't lie.
Shoes?
Yeah,
Oh, man, they nice.
I
don't spend $200 for
Yeah.
shoes, but they nice.
Let me say this. I hope Ja finds his joy back.
Oh,
Yeah.
he's finding it.
I hope, because I love this game, right? And I think that anybody who plays it at that high level, he is so talented. I mean, beyond words talented. And my kids love his shoes. We have our own
I hope you
collection
get him the newest
of
shoes.
Jaws at the house. Yes.
Well,
We,
get
Ja
me the
threes?
newest
we,
shoes.
we do have a collection of Jaws at the house. So I hope he does find it all. And I hope that him and the staff find some common ground where they can work together to accomplish the goals for the city because the city needs the Grizzlies to be great. The city
Yes,
loves the
especially
Grizzlies
with
to
all
be
the
great.
noise about Grizzlies going to Nashville. That's never
Yes.
happening.
Yes.
Or Grizzlies going to Vegas. That's also never happening. We said it on this program. It's never happening. So we ain't in that nonsense of Grizzlies going to Nashville or Vegas. Grizzlies ain't leaving Memphis. But to Ruben's point, this city needs the Grizzlies to be good because the Grizzlies are the sports scene. We love Memphis Tigers. We'll talk about it on this program.
But that's your pro team.
But we need the Grizzlies to be good.
Yeah.
All right. We have basically worn you out today. Appreciate you, big dog. You killed it. We much appreciate it.
Anytime, my
Come
brother.
back anytime.
Anytime.